Real power isn't dominance, it's self-mastery made visible. I spent my 20s chasing the wrong version of power. Status, control, winning arguments. I looked strong. I felt weak. 5 years ago, I discovered 5 Stoic laws that completely inverted my understanding. These aren't theories. They're battle-tested principles that transformed how I show up in the world. Here are the 5 laws that move you from reaction to sovereignty. When your boss criticizes you in front of the team, you feel your jaw tighten. Everyone's watching. Your instinct screams, defend yourself, justify, prove you're right. But that reaction makes you look weak and desperate. Instead, pause. 3 seconds of silence. Then, I'll consider that. Meeting ends. Later, 2 team members approach you. That was strong, they say. Your silence communicated more than any defense could. This was the hardest law for me to learn. For years, I defended every criticism like my life depended on it. I had to be right every single time. It made me exhausting to work with. The day I learned to pause just 3 seconds, everything shifted. People respected my composure more than my arguments ever earned. Epictetus called this withholding assent. You control your response, nothing else. The world throws attacks. You choose which ones deserve your energy, most deserve none. When you see your friend's new car, you immediately want one. Now you're checking prices, financing options. Your happiness depends on getting that car. You've just handed control of your peace to a material object. Every desire is a leash someone else can pull. The Stoics had a word for this. Sophrosyne. English translation, stop wanting what makes you weak. Ask one question. Does this serve my mission? If no, you're free to ignore it. I used to upgrade my phone every year. New model drops I'd pre-order. Not because I needed it, because I wanted to signal I could afford it. One year I asked myself, does this serve my mission? The answer was no. I kept my phone for 3 years. Saved $2,400. More importantly, I stopped measuring my status by my possessions. That question, does this serve my mission, saved me from 1,000 pointless purchases. The man enslaved by appetites obeys masters he cannot see. The man who governs his desires answers to no one. These aren't ancient principles that need modern translation. They're human principles that ancient men mastered first. Your nervous system works the same as Marcus Aurelius's did. Your ego responds to criticism exactly like Epictetus's students' egos did. The stakes changed. You're fighting for status on LinkedIn instead of the Senate floor, but the psychology is identical. The Stoics cracked the code on human nature 2,000 years ago. We just keep rediscovering their answers with worse vocabulary. When your business partner betrays you, your instinct is revenge. He took credit for your work. He lied to the client. He deserves to be destroyed. But watch what happens when you pursue payback. You damage the relationship. You create an enemy. You sacrifice your own character to punish his. The Stoics believed you're connected to every other rational human by nature. Harm them, you harm yourself. They called this Oikeiōsis, natural kinship. I violated this law badly 5 years ago. A colleague stabbed me in the back politically. I spent 6 months plotting to get him fired. I succeeded. He lost his job, and I became the office villain. People stopped trusting me. I won the battle and lost my reputation. Marcus Aurelius was right. What injures the hive injures the bee. I injured the hive. It cost me 2 years to rebuild trust. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire and wrote, "What injures the hive injures the bee." Your power grows when you elevate others, not when you crush competitors. Justice over revenge. Every time. When you lose your job, your mind spirals into catastrophe. How will you pay rent? What will people think? Your career is over. But here's what's actually happening. You're suffering in advance for pain that may never arrive. Seneca prepared for disaster through mental rehearsal, not panic. He wrote, "The wise man anticipates misfortune, so when it arrives, it's not unexpected." This is Amor, Fati, love of fate. Accept what you cannot control. That job loss, it might open the path to something better. I got fired 3 years ago, completely blindsided. For 2 weeks, I panicked, catastrophized, played out worst-case scenarios. Then I remembered Seneca. We suffer more in imagination than reality. I stopped fighting it, accepted it, asked, what's this making possible? 6 months later, I started my own business. That firing was the best thing that ever happened to my career, but only because I stopped resisting it. Your acceptance of difficulty becomes the source of unshakable courage. The man who anticipates loss cannot be surprised by it. The man who accepts mortality cannot be threatened by it. When you post online and nobody likes it, you feel invisible. You check your follower count. It dropped. Your status just decreased in your own mind. You're building your identity on external approval. That's not power, that's prison. Marcus Aurelius had all of Rome's approval and called fame a thing devoid of judgment, fleeting and worthless. True power lives in the only domain you fully control: your judgment, your will, your character. Building your happiness on others' opinions places your peace in their hands. You become their prisoner. The Stoic owns his peace because he sources it internally. Indifference to reputation isn't apathy, it's liberation. These 5 laws move you from reaction to sovereignty, from slave to master, not of others, of yourself. Law 1 teaches basic self-control. Law 2 disciplines your wants. Law 3 expands beyond your ego. Law 4 accepts reality. Law 5 achieves complete freedom. Here's the truth. I failed at all 5 before I mastered any of them. Law 3 nearly destroyed my career. Law 4 took 3 years of fighting reality before I surrendered. Law 1, I'm still practicing it daily. Some days I win. Some days I defend my ego like a child. But here's what changed. I stopped expecting perfection. The Stoics weren't perfect men. They were men committed to practice. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations as self-reminders because he kept failing too. So here's your challenge. Pick one law, not all 5, just one. Apply it to one situation this week. Then come back and tell me what happened. Which law you chose, what you learned, where you failed. I'll respond to every single comment because this is how we all get better, through shared practice, not isolated theory. Which law are you starting with?